For my evaluation for Animaker, I decided to come onto the website of Animaker and actually explain some of my issues with the website. Usually, with other pieces of software that we have used to make our news package or our opening sequence or our website or even our thriller opening sequence in the last year, I haven't really had as much of an issue with the software as I did with Animaker, just because I found it very, very difficult to use. It had quite limited resources that really didn't make any sense to me. But obviously now that our news package is finished, I can reflect back on it and kind of explain what I did like and what I didn't like about it. So obviously I quite like the fact that it starts with a very simple setup, that you've got all of the characters, properties, backgrounds, everything that you would need on this hand side. You can change it from 2D to infographics, whiteboard, handcraft. I quite like that. The fact that you have a preview. However, and the fact that you can change the length of your scenes. However, one of the issues that I had with this was that the maximum that it will have is 15 seconds, which means that clearly if you want a graphic that will last for longer than 15 seconds, you have to make an entirely new scene or an entirely new project altogether, which kind of didn't really work well with me. One of the issues that I also had was if I put in a background and then created a speech bubble, the way that it was laid out here. And already it's slowing down the process because the website can't keep up to date with the amount of things that's on the screen, even though there's only 2 things. This was confusing to me because you can extend how long it's on there for. I did like that because it's kind of an easy way of doing it, but then I couldn't just press play. I had to go into preview mode in order to do this, in order to see how it would all work together, which didn't work well when I was doing things like voiceovers or if I needed to see how long it would take, meaning that I had to tally up the amount of time that I would need to take for a graphic and then time it and make the footage longer or shorter or speed up or slow down, because I wasn't able to edit at the same time as hearing the voiceover or music when I was editing the graphics like I could on something like Adobe Premiere Elements. Which is why I think I stuck to Adobe After Effects for so long, because I found it easier to work with and I was able to play things back and hear things in time. So I think overall, whilst it is a very, very good piece of software and it's good if you want to make some simple graphics or some simple pieces of information for people, it definitely didn't suit well with what I wanted to do. I thought it looked very childish, which is again not the professional image that we wanted to portray to our audience. Even though the graphics that I had made on After Effects weren't even of the same standard as these, I still felt that the minimalist approach was more professional than these ones with kind of odd backgrounds and speech bubbles. I didn't think it worked very well. Clearly, we did end up using Animaker for our final piece, and I think the bits that we did use worked very well, but I think if we were to use more graphics and use Animaker even more than we already did, it would have come out as looking messy and unprofessional and incredibly informal, which we definitely didn't want. But overall, even though I don't personally like it, I know that my peers in my group, Amy and Rasheen, they loved it. They found it very interesting to work with. They thought it was very good, very helpful, and that it added to the overall look and feel of our news package. However, it just wasn't for me because I think I like doing things manually and having a wide array of options to me, which I couldn't access on Animaker because obviously they have a free version and a paid version where some of the items that you can get, such as characters, so like here, these were all premium, which I wasn't able to get, which didn't really help much when you've got very specific things to be talking about. So yeah, that is my evaluation on Animaker.